Alright, so, I think this is my first video back in my van. So, I finally got the transmission fixed after about a month. So, anyway, hair finally got cut. My, shaving equipment was in the van, so, which was at the shop, so. Alright. In this video, I wanted to go ahead and address a very important difference in the way that various people deal with DDD, and it's actually a really, really important one to me. A lot of it comes down to, or can be best addressed by asking, of the two ways of dealing with your problems, which of the two are you more inclined to follow through on? One, you separate yourself from your problems. If there's someone around you having problems, you separate yourself from that person. If you are having problems, you separate yourself from yourself. Dissociative disorder is basically that. You're having problems. You can't deal with it. You deal with it by separating yourself from, rather than confronting those issues, or you separate yourself from yourself in order to confront the issues. That's kind of what I did. Kind of. I've been through just about every path one can take, and as far as dealing with their problems in order to deal with mine, so I can identify with each in various stages, but honestly, there was always a part of me that was trying to face, trying to submit my problems rather than submit to my problems, or try to ignore them, to hide from them, to run from them, to cut myself off from them, so that they just weren't dealt with. I didn't have to deal with them. Other people were left to deal with them. And so, but there's that one. Are you more likely to just cut and run? Do you have a long-standing history of getting rid of people? If so, you're part of that first group. Then there's a second group, and this is the one that I identify with more. That group believes that the best way to deal with your problems is to unite against them. Whether you're uniting yourself against them, whether you are uniting with others against your problems, whether you are uniting with others against their problems, regardless of what you are uniting against, in what vernacular, in any particular way, you are uniting against the problem. You believe that that will make you stronger. You believe that conquering that problem in that way will leave you stronger, more capable, happier, healthier, etc. And out of these two, you're probably going to say, well, I'm part of number two, because number two sounds a lot better. But a lot of people are part of group number one. And you know how I know this? Because I have never had to cut anyone out of my life. Everyone that I have ever known has cut themselves out of my life because they were so best way I can describe it, they believed so little in themselves that they never really rallied around themselves in a way that allowed them to deal with weak situations in a strong way, or deal with being in a weak position in a strong way. When they got around me, it was like realizing how weak of a position they were in because they couldn't do anything to actually fix me or my situation, but at the same time, they felt like they had a responsibility to me to do something about it, but they saw me display a strength that went beyond what they could identify of themselves. And they said to themselves, he can do better to overcome this alone than with my help. And this isn't my problem, this is his problem. So I'm just going to let him deal with it. I'm going to get out of here. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more to that. There really is a lot to be said about the first train of thought. So many mental gymnastics occur there. But like I said, I'm part of the second group. Which also means that I've been taken advantage of countless times. I've been... I'm in $20,000 worth of debt, unsecured debt now, and I've still got $20,000 on my vehicle. And the reason why I'm $20,000 in debt is because I keep on trying to help people. More people, longer than I probably ever should. But like I said, I've never had to cut ties. I'm not honestly sure how I would cut ties, except for when other people cut ties, I just basically let them. And then at some point, they probably, they almost always end up coming back to me later on, like they've realized that they've lost a lot by not having me around because of how much I was putting into being there for them and helping them and whatnot. And they want that back, but they really haven't changed. And I'm just like, no, you do you, and I'm gonna do me. And we're not on the same page here. We're on two very opposite ends of the earth here, and I think it's just better that we stay that way. I'll see you if you ever come over to this side, but I don't want to have anything to do with the other side. I've been there. Not fond of it. Don't want to go back. Not going back. Have fun. So, but this is a very definitive line within DDD. It is very, very important to address. Because depending on whether or not you believe that the best way to solve your problems is by separating yourself from those problems, or by uniting against those problems, will dictate whether or not you are in recovery or whether you are spiraling, whether you're in free fall. Because it's a dissociative developmental disorder. DDD. Dissociative developmental disorder. Dissociative means separating yourself from. feeling separated from yourself, etc., etc. Development disorder, because you spend so much time that way, it affects the way up here works. It affects the way your social bonds present or not. You may still have issues with social bonds, even if you're part of the second side of things, because honestly, they're just, like I said, there aren't a lot of people in that second category. There are a lot of more people in the first. So, but generally speaking, what will happen if you're part of the second is, whether or not you have those social bonds, you have put enough of yourself into what bonds you have had that you're a lot less likely to have a divisive mindset when you are trying to relate your life to others. And you're more likely to try to relate your life to others than you are to relate your own life to you, because relating your own life to you means connecting with yourself. If you're dissociating, you're not going to be connecting with yourself. You're going to be disconnecting from yourself. So it kind of, I think the best way to explain it is not Bruce Lee, but is a Taoist concept: big universe, small universe. What we see in the bigger universe, the universe outside ourselves, reveals more about the universe inside of ourselves. The smaller universe, and what we observe of the smaller universe inside, we can observe in the larger universe outside ourselves. Going down the second path allows us to relate between those two. Going down the first path separates those two so that we can't relate them. Therefore, what we learn in one place is separate from what we learn in another place, separate from what we learn in another place. Which basically means we're having to relearn every single time circumstances change. And that is extremely taxing, and it'll probably make a lot of people feel like giving up. And a lot of people do, who are part of that first category. If you're part of the second category, you'll relate them, and you'll be able to go, oh, that's like this, this is like this, that's like that. And it's a lot easier for us to pick things up and learn and to roll with things that way. Anyway, this video has gone on too long already, so I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But I'll see you in the next video.